On Paul's second missionary journey, he was surprised by a call from a man in Macedonia saying in a vision, "Come and help us." And so Paul left Asia Minor and he went to Philippi and then Thessaloniki up in northern Greece. He came down to Athens and then he arrived here in Corinth. While Paul was in Corinth, he really established what you could consider a headquarters for the whole second missionary journey. He was here for about 18 months, experiencing a great deal of success and effectiveness. In fact, God spoke to him in a dream here saying, "Don't be afraid, keep on speaking, don't be silent, for I'm with you. No one is going to attack and harm you because I have many people in this city." Now, Paul spent a good bit of time in the agora around us, the marketplace, and he also spent some time here on the bema, the rostrum, or the platform where he was judged. Right here, there's a main street that goes all the way from the port of Cenchrea to the port of Lechion. In this thriving commercial center, Paul was actually tried. Interestingly, Paul was actually effective in bringing to faith Crispus, the synagogue ruler, here in this town. But later, another synagogue ruler named Sosthenes was a part of an effort to oust Paul from the city. A riot ensues. People bring Paul to this bema, this platform, where the local city rulers are going to have to decide what to do with him. Now, you may remember that Paul stood on a bema in Philippi, and in that city, Paul was thrown into jail without due process. But here, Paul was actually excused because, as Gallio, the proconsul of Achaia, said, this man is actually just being charged with local religious law. So as you think about where Paul is in Corinth and what he experienced, think about the importance of the synagogue, which was the center of his activities. He also worked out here in the agora, but Paul would end up here on the bema having to be judged for behavior that was really not a threat to Rome, but it was to some in the Jewish community. So let me take you to the word bema, which Paul uses only twice in the New Testament, but in 2 Corinthians 5:10, where Paul uses the word bema only once of 2 times in the New Testament, and he says, "We must all appear before the judgment seat or the bema of Christ, that each one may receive what is due him for the things done while in the body, whether good or bad." I think it's helpful to realize that in Paul's ministry, he was regularly judged. He was regularly criticized, regularly opposed. And Paul understood that this kind of public judgment before the masses, before Jewish accusers, before Roman guards, was not nearly as important as the judgment before God, which he was looking forward to at the end of his life. That's the only accountability that ultimately mattered to the Apostle Paul.